What's going on, guys? I'm Mighty back at the end with the weekly Rust Skins videos, and just quickly, I do want to point out that my metal face mask was not in the TGG list last week. It wasn't in his video either. If you guys want to see this in the game, then make sure you reshare it, post it on their Discord, post it on Face Punch's Discord, post it on Twitter and at Alistair and Face Punch and all the boys. And let's try and get this bad boy accepted in the game, because that would be absolutely skits. Alright, let's move over to the Rust item store and have a little cheeky look at what we've got. So we've got the 8-bit AR, got a furnace room door, graffiti closed storage continuation of the graffiti set. We've got a continuation of the JPEG set now going into clothing, which is the Roadsign gear. Looks pretty cool. We've got a katana sword, first sword skin in a long time, an armored door skin, and a Thompson. So let's get started with the clothing and look at the JPEG Roadsign gear. So we've got the coffee can helmet, we've got the Roadsign kilt, and we've got the Roadsign vest, all going for $2.75. And overall, these are pretty cool looking armor, whatever. And I obviously do think that this is going to be a continuation. I do think this is going to continue into the clothing, boots most likely as well, and possibly Roadsign gloves, and also Metal Gear. So overall, in the order, I'll recommend going for investing in the Roadsign kilt, and then the Roadsign vest, and then the Roadsign helmet in that order. So overall, $2.75. Unfortunately, they are above center store price, usually around like $1.35-ish. Not the best thing ever, but I do still think that the Roadsign kilt can make you some money. Unfortunately, I have seen a little bit of backlash at the moment from the Roadsign gear on the Rust store, but that is mainly because a lot of people are comparing it to the black gold armor that didn't get accepted this week, but I think that was too late, most likely going to come out next week. So overall, the JPEG Metal Gear Roadsign gear, you know what I mean, is okay, but it is at a high price. So I'd recommend getting the kilt and then the Roadsign vest and the JPEG helmet. You could probably get for a little bit cheaper with the community market buy order if you want to maximize potential profits. Alright, moving over to the sword. Going for $2.75. This one is a cheeky boy. We haven't had any sword skins in the game for a very long time, and I think this one is quite a nice looking sword skin to come out on the Rust store. So overall, of course, not many people actually use swords, simply because who uses a melee weapon really, unless you're like real prim early game. In which case isn't going to last very long. So I don't think there's going to be a very high demand for them, but I also don't think they're really going to sell that high in terms of investors. And at the moment, the katana sword is actually the cheapest sword on the once it goes to the community market. On the community market, the cheapest one is $3.19. Now, as I said, I don't think that there's going to be a very high demand for them, so I don't think the quantity is going to be very high either, but if people do pick up on this, then of course people might try and invest in them and then might try and dump them on the community market. So they're going to have a much higher quantity on the community market than other swords in my opinion, but overall as a long-term investment they should catch up to the other sword skins value and prices. So overall I do think the katana sword will be a safe investment, even though it is $2.75, even though it doesn't have a very high demand. Long term, I do think it is going to make you money, and that is also mainly just comparing it to the other sword skins on the community market. Now, they have a low quantity, but some of them are pretty expensive for what they are, to be honest. So overall, I will recommend investing in the katana sword as a long-term investment off the Rust store for this week. Alrighty, moving over to the Retro Blast Thompson. Quite a nice looking Retro Blast skin, actually a continuation now of the Retro Blast set. So we just had the AK is going for $1.99, quantity is only one. Overall, not a good start for the Retro Blast set, and honestly I do think it's probably going to continue like that throughout the rest of the Retro Blast set's life. So overall the ADS is pretty plain in my opinion. The skin itself is quite nice, but unfortunately in my opinion not stand out enough to actually have a very high demand. And there is quite a decent amount of nice looking Thompson skins. So overall, I'm not going to recommend investing in this bad boy off of the Rust store, but if you want to pick it up off the community market with a buy order to try and get it for a little bit cheaper, then I do think you can make money off of it in the future. But I do think buying this one off the community market is definitely your best bet, as I do think it's going to go down a little bit before it goes up. So I'm not going to recommend investing in that one. All right, moving over to the 8-bit AR. To be honest, I don't know who made this, but this is an ugly skin in my opinion. I don't think it's going to have any demand, and I don't think it's going to make you any money. It's going for $3.45 for whatever reason. It's currently 4th on the top sellers, 5th, sorry. And quite frankly, I just think it's just not a very good skin. It looks ugly. It looks pixely. I know it's called the 8-bit skin. I don't care what it's called. It's just not a nice looking skin in my opinion. Its ADS is also very plain. And the fact that it is above standard store price, sitting at $3.45, I am just very unsure why FaceBunch decided to make it that price. But overall, I don't think it's going to make any money. And if you want to pick it up, then pick it up off the community market, because you're going to be able to get it for cheaper off there. I can tell you that right now. No offense to the skin creator. Okay, moving over to the furnace room door. Going for $3.45 above standard store price, but it is standard store price for glowing deployables. For some reason, the Rustam store doesn't say that this is a glowing deployable, but it is. Overall, it's actually quite a nice looking door skin, and I haven't really, and I guess no other skin creators have really thought about having themed door skins for organizations, so like furnace skin, furnace room door, loot room door, TC room door. Of course, it's going to make it bloody hella easy for the raiders, but end of the day, if you want it to be organized, then it would look pretty cool. Going for $3.45, I do think that there is potential for this one to go up in value, but I do also think it needs to become a set in order for it to really go up. So overall, I think you're going to be able to get this one for a little bit cheaper off the community market with a buy order, just because it's going for $3.45 off the Rustam store. And so overall, I'm not going to recommend investing in this bad boy off the Roadsign store. Although if this does continue and it does become a set, I do think this is actually going to make you a little bit of money. So pretty cool looking skin, definitely. Don't get me wrong there, but overall, I'm not going to recommend investing in that off the Roadsign store. Right, moving over to the next skin, we have the minted gold armored door. Going for $5.55. It's not glowing, by the way, which is above standard store price even for glowing deployables. And as I just said, it's not glowing. So I actually do like this design. I like the concept of it, it just being a full gold door. I think that's sick. But I really do think that the text on it and stuff has missed the mark. I don't understand what the KBK blah 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 is. I'm assuming, I don't know. But anyway, I just don't like it. Fine gold, 999.9. I don't think that looks good. Cobalt minting, yeah, that looks fine. And then the 500 kilo on the latch or the hatch, it looks okay. But I mean, overall, I really do think that this door in some way has missed the mark just with the stuff that it says on it. It should have said other stuff, I guess. I don't know. Nice skin, but for $5.50, I do think you're going to be able to get it for a little bit cheaper on the community market with the buy order. As a long-term investment, I do see it potentially going up in value, but I'd definitely recommend getting this one off the community market instead. And the fact that it's not a glowing deployable does mean that it's going to have less demand on the community market once it goes to the community market, so keep that in mind as well. So $5.50, not going to recommend investing in this one off the Rustam store because it's just too expensive. Righty, moving over to the final skin of the week, we got the Graffiti storage set, continuing with the Graffiti clothes storage. This skin is, of course, a glowing deployable, and as I said last time a Graffiti bloody box came out, this should be the final Graffiti box to actually release. Going for $3.45, this is going to perform, in my opinion, similar to the armored, the Graffiti armor storage. And if Graffiti armor storage is, honestly I don't know what it is off the top of my head, the price, but if it is quite expensive, then of course this one is going to have a higher quantity than the armor. So keep that in mind as well. But overall, I do think they're going to perform similar. But I do think if the armor did perform well, then the clothes is going to have quite a high demand. So overall, the Graffiti clothes storage is currently second on the top sellers. Minted gold armored door is number 1. But I do think the Graffiti storage box set, whole set, has been a very safe investment. So overall, I'm going to recommend investing in the Graffiti clothes storage off of the Roadsign store for this week. Just another reminder, guys, try and get some attention for my metal face mask. It would be much appreciated. Thanks, hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and now we'll move over to the card. Alrighty gang, this is my card for this week. I'm not investing at all. I'm just getting one of the Graffiti clothes storage. I'm getting all of the JPEG stuff. I'm getting one of the minted gold armored doors. Honestly, I was on the fence about that one. Didn't know if I really wanted to get it or not, because keep in mind, all the photos of it are of the armored door outside, and as will my video also show the exact same thing. The door will be on the outside, of course, but keep in mind, of course, usually the armored door is going to be inside, probably right before your TC or something like that. So keep that in mind as well, that it is going to be inside, and you know, it's going to be a lot darker and not look as fresh, but going to pick it up anyway. And then the katana sword. So not getting the AK or the Tommy for this week. Going to cost me $19.95. This is the cheapest card I've had in a long time. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, and remember, have it skids one.
Why?